I was annoyed with it. I was angry at times. I thought, hell, don't these people, you know, just walk to a dumpster, drop it in the dumpster. I mean, all of those things. It was a very, I don't quite know why I did that. I don't know, I never saw myself in that role. I was also uncomfortable. I didn't want to be associated with one of the guys who goes down the alleyways and checks out the dumpsters to see if there's any treasure in there. In fact, at one point I was accosted by one of the gentlemen who does that and seeing me as a competitor. So, anyway, we straightened that out. But that went on for about 8 months, and then Catherine and I connected, and she said there are some youth who do graffiti, who have to do community hours, and I had been a high school English teacher for 15 years. I'm not just an academic in an ivory tower. So, and I worked in urban schools, primarily, although I also worked in very Tony, upper middle class schools. I thought, well, what the heck, you know, okay, send me some kids. So they came to my house. I live on Summit Street, 2 doors down from 8th and Summit. And they would come to me on Sunday morning, and that's quite an effort for a young man. Most of them sleep until 2, 3 in the afternoon if they can. I have a son, I know from experience. And they certainly don't want to be walking around picking up trash. They don't mind doing graffiti. However, they came. I had 5 young men who saw out several months with me. And we would just go around the neighborhood in the area I described, and we would pick up trash. We would talk. I would invite them back to my house for coffee, tea, and I usually had cookies and something sweet, and we would talk. Now and again, we would also have a smoke with the ones who were over 18, because I also smoke sometimes. And that was an interesting bonding mechanism, actually, as it was, because they made them more relaxed. But in the process of doing this, I did know what young men, the age ranged from, Grant was the youngest, I think he was like 14, and he didn't work out too well. He was deeply angry and very, very resistant. But the others were 17, 18, and 19, and Randy was actually 21, just 20 going on towards 21. I became extremely attached to these young men, and actually they seemed to get quite attached to me. And I think the reason, among other things, for that is that they actually had somebody who listened to them. It's very simple. I think we have, as an educator, we always have lots of complex solutions to problems, quote unquote solutions. We have strategies. I've been in education for 40 years. I have the benefit of experience on both sides of the fence. And I can tell you, I don't want to be simplistic, but one thing that gets missed in much of our dialogue about what works and what doesn't work is the human factor. And one of the common facets of this my experience again with these young men, they really want someone to listen to them. They came from homes where there was a range of parenting styles, but what was common in the parenting styles was, I think, an artifact of the modern age. We're just too damn busy. We have our own issues. We have to run here and there. We have to shuttle other kids to and fro, events. The kids have their lives. Patricia Hearst wrote an interesting book called A Tribe Apart. A Tribe Apart. Adolescence is a tribe apart in modern America. And also, I would say, in modern Australia and modern UK. Less so in Europe, where family ties and where young and old tend to still connect as a common aspect of the society. But in our society, and I'm talking about the US, and I'm a dual citizen, so I'll call it ours, mine as well, there are two cultures. There's the teen tribe and there's the adult tribe. And as a result of that, young people don't have the benefit of connecting with older people, except typically in terms of some sort of authority relationship, authority-based relationship. They don't want to be peers with people like me. I'm old enough to be their grandmother. But they do want to have someone who's older than them to talk with. They do want to have someone who's able to listen without coming up with, oh, you shouldn't be doing that, or, oh, how could you, or, you know, the judgmental stuff that parents and invested others tend to come up with. I did it with my own son. Interesting things that I heard from these kids, they're lost. They don't really know what they want to do in the future. They're also very smart. There are a couple of them who are not academically, intellectually smart, but they all had what I call emotional smarts, ways of reading the world and reading the others around them. They're good watchers. They watch us. They do understand who we are much better than we understand them. Blaze, see, I get all emotional. But he was like kids that I taught. Smart as a whip. Very, very cute. Great cloud of blonde curly hair, blazing blue eyes, massive metal jewelry on a very thin, black dressed body. That was Blaze. Excellent trash picker. Obsessive compulsive. He wouldn't just do it on the sidewalk. He'd go up to the edge of the apartment building and go into the plants and all the shrubs that had overgrown and ferret out the trash. That was Blaze. I wanted to help him get into Columbus State Community College. And we got as far as getting down there one day. And then we couldn't register him because he didn't know his national, you know, when you're 18, you've got to go up for register for national service, I think it's called. And his mother hadn't done that. So he was stopped at the door of putting in an application for college because of that. I don't know what happened since. I have called him, he finished the program, and I call him periodically. Hey Blaze, I'm still here. Come by anytime you want, just letting you know. Very smart. Blaze had also read this popular version of the concept that we live the reality that we make, the laws of attraction. He'd read that book one day, he talked about it, and I said, well, what did you think about it? I happen to believe in all that stuff, but I kept really low-key. And he just said, it gives me hope. The idea that we can create our own reality. Philip, didn't see much of Philip. He didn't last very long. He looked extremely washed out. I would surmise he looked like other kids that I've been with who are into some heavy drugs. A very sweet young man who shared with me one day that his stepfather, who had been, I think, stepfather for about 15 years, wasn't just a big ass, he was a whole ass. This kid, and I use that language, that's his language, this kid, very sensitive, incredibly insightful, sweet sense of humor, funny. Sean, dropout, all of them are dropouts, by the way. High school, lost them. We lost them. Sean, I don't really think that Sean probably kept out of trouble. What you might call a directionless young man. incredibly